Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I am feeling quite legendary, if I do say so myself. Today was just one of those days where things just lined up. And they lined up in a way that I was able to see some people that I love. And just in reconnecting and honestly getting some stuff off of my chest, I was able to feel a type of love that I haven't felt in a while, in a couple months now. I felt a love for myself, for everything that I did up until now, and for having the courage to say something. I felt love for God and the universe for setting up these domino pieces in this perfect way that when everything started to knock into one another, it just made sense. It really did. I can't remember if I said this on the episode on Saturday, I believe it was, but I ended up going rock climbing after I went hiking. I know I mentioned that. And I actually lost my ring there. This one right here. I left it behind. It fell out of my pocket. And as soon as I noticed it was missing, I called their front desk and they told me, hey, yeah, we found it. We'll hold on to it for you whenever you want to come and grab it. Just go right ahead. So I actually didn't plan to get it so soon, but I had some time today. I had other errands I had to run, and I figured out a way to kind of put that as a destination of mine. You know, I was able to move things around and go with the flow in a way that it just made sense, right? So I had that going for me, and because I had to go all the way to this specific gym, I found that one of the other errands I had to run for grocery shopping had a store up in that area. So I said, cool, I'm going to go to that location instead of my normal one, which is a bit closer. So I had those two things planned. I was ready to go in the morning. And then I get a text from a friend that I haven't seen in a while. And that text simply said, hey, just thinking of you, been missing you, hope you've been well. And in that moment, I had this idea, hey, you know what? I haven't seen them in a while. Their house is literally on the way to my other two stops. What if I just offered to visit them for 30 seconds, get a quick hug, and then go on my way? They agreed to this, which made me overjoyed. And so I left my house to start these errands. And I got to their house first. And what was supposed to be, 3 minutes turned into just about 3 hours. I ended up going inside and we caught up on everything that's been going on because we haven't really seen each other since, I don't know, maybe March, April? Yeah, just around April maybe. So it's been a while. And in reconnecting, I shared with them some feelings that I had on my end where I thought I messed up. I thought I did something wrong and I was actually really afraid. I was really afraid that I lost some really important people in my life. But it turns out what actually happened had nothing to do with me. There's a lot of other pieces that fell for other people, and I just misread a lot of the signals. Now that I know the truth, I misread an embarrassingly large amount of signals. And so I gave myself a pat on the back for doing my best with the resources I had. And I also know that I could have done things differently. I could have reached out sooner, expressed how I was feeling sooner, and maybe I wouldn't have felt so lonely or like I was missing them for as long as I did. So what really was legendary was just seeing them again, reconnecting with them. After I was finally done catching up and just enjoying their presence, I did end up going to the store, and from the store to the gym, picking up my ring, coming back home. And pretty much that ended up being my entire day. The actual trip itself took a total of about 6 hours, with all the stops and shopping and visits and everything just together. And what makes me laugh is thinking about just how many things had to fall into place in order for today to happen. For starters, I had to coincidentally be at a gym that I have never been to before, right? It just so happened that on Saturday, I wanted to go on a hike, and I haven't hiked in months. But for whatever reason, that day I wanted to hike, and that place and me being alone was right next to this gym. So I went to the gym, and it just so happened that at the gym I lost my ring. I forgot it, and it got found, meaning I had to go back. That was the one domino. The second domino was the fact that my mom needed me to go do grocery shopping for her. She needed a very specific set of items found at a very specific place, but it meant that there weren't that many locations to go to, and it just so happened there was one where I needed it. And then the third domino was my friends reaching out to me and just checking in on me. And when all those things got put together, it just so happened that I was able to reconnect with these people that I truly love. But how crazy is that? I wouldn't have been in that area if I didn't lose my ring. Because if I didn't lose the ring, I would have gone to the store that's much closer to my house. And if I went to the store much closer to my house, it would have been really far out of the way to go visit my friends. And I would have never even brought up the idea of meeting up. And I still would have spent today and however many days follow thinking that I did something wrong and they were upset with me when that was not the case whatsoever. You can call that a coincidence all you want. But as I've said on here before, I don't believe in coincidences. Not anymore. A coincidence is something that, happens by chance. But when coincidences start to stack in a way that's almost suspicious, it just didn't feel right calling it a coincidence. Yeah, it's still chance. But I like to call them Godwinks. I like to believe that God has a hand on the scale and tips it in whichever direction that we need in order to experience what we're meant to experience. I saw this entire situation as one big Godwink. I was meant to go see these people so that, well, maybe I actually don't even know what that reason was in terms of the effect that it'll have later. But I know that one thing I got from it now was feeling incredible, for starters. Two, making, amends, or just clearing the air. And there's so much more, but what it all boils down to for me, truly, is that everything happens for a reason. What will come next is beyond me. Because who knows? Maybe the only reason that all of this happened was for me to say or do something specific for someone that I met throughout this entire day so that their lives get impacted some way, somehow. Maybe it was my friends, or maybe it was someone at the rock climbing gym that I spoke to for, just 15, 20 seconds. But truly, we don't know the impact that we can have on other people until we really think about the impact that random people have on us. I know that there's some people in my life that were very well, truly only there for like 30 seconds. But what they did for me absolutely shifted the course of my entire life. Like, I wish I could say that was an exaggeration, but it wasn't. There is someone who I never got their name. I never even looked at their face. It was as simple as overhearing a conversation they were having on the phone for a total of 20 seconds maybe, that jogged such a visceral idea and emotion into my mind and body that it helped me really just transform. This was like during the time when I was going from so much ignorance to beginning to understand that there's an entire world that I haven't even tapped into, that I have no clue about, and that dictates how I think, how I feel, how I act. I was going into this field of personal growth and personal development and self-awareness, and this person had a huge impact on that. And yet, he has absolutely no idea, because I didn't stop him. I didn't tell him. All I did was listen. When I saw that, when I experienced that, I knew that I can and do have the same impact on other people. Something I say in passing, or maybe even a look or a smile that I give, can truly change someone's entire day, someone's entire week, someone's entire life even. I don't know. So I may not know what the purpose of today was, but I do know that with all this mystery, with all this puzzle-like anticipation around it, I did feel amazing. It was a legendary day. And I took that momentum, went ahead, practiced some piano today for the first time in quite a while. I say quite a while because it's just been here, sitting here, and I've played keys here and there, but I haven't really tried playing anything. And so today I actually pulled up a song and started mimicking the song because I need to start getting that practice of flow and rhythm and melody and harmony and music just in general as an art form. Like, I want to take it a step further from what I used to know. We can all recognize the pattern of music. It takes a second step of mastery to start utilizing that pattern, to start knowing what to play and how to play it. But my ultimate goal is to get to the third and final stage, which is pattern creation. I want to be able to make my own music. I want to be able to have an idea, have this feeling, and put it into sound, and put it into visuals, and put it in a way that like the world and other people can understand what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. I know that's possible and I know it'll come, so all I have to do is take the small steps every single day to get there. So with all the momentum of the day, played some music. I even made plans with some other friends of mine. I've got another climbing trip on Wednesday. I'm going to yoga on Thursday. Definitely going to volleyball on Friday. Might do a hiking trip Friday morning. I have an entire day with family on Saturday. And then on Sunday is my recouping day, in a way of like bringing everything together to see how my week went, how I felt, and to set myself up for the next week. And on that day, I think I will also go for a run. So I've noticed that I'm getting really active lately, and I love that. And I'm also making sure to find many different ways to do so. Running, hiking, that's all stuff that I get to do outside and whenever I want. Climbing, yoga, volleyball, that's all the indoor stuff, but high energy, high intensity. And this is the type of exercise that I like to do. I've tried the gym. It's not for me. And you may say, whoa, Philip, maybe you just haven't tried XY. You're right. Maybe I haven't tried what you've done. But I do know that I've tried the gym at least 5 or 6 times within the last 3 years, I'll say. And I've gone for 2-3 months at a time. I've tried the whole going only once or twice a week. I've tried the whole going 6 or 7 times a week. I tried in the middle. I tried doing this split or this intensity or this variation. And ultimately, I learned that no amount of optimization could replace the feeling of not wanting to be there, feeling bored sometimes, feeling uninterested, unmotivated, because all the things that I want to do now, many of them are social. Yoga, climbing, volleyball, they can all be considered social. Going on hikes, going on runs can also be social if I choose to. May just be solo for a while, but that's okay. The point is, it's this variety. I can have certainty in the schedule of doing it once a week, every week, but it's the variety in doing something different every day. And then I'll have 1 or 2 days where I just relax, rest up, give my muscles, my entire body time to recuperate. So all that to say, legendary day, bro. Like how I just spent this entire call recounting my day. I guess a lot of my episodes are like that. I'm still figuring out what I want to do here on this show, on this channel. All I know for certain is that I want to create. What I want to create, well, I get to decide that as I go. This show is going to be here for at least the rest of this year, for sure. Then that may shift to a different approach, maybe with a bigger focus on music, as I've been saying many times now. I feel like if I just keep saying it, I will commit to it and it'll be legit. Like, I'll actually do it. I'll find a way to make it work, even if it means I have to stay up for many hours a day. But that means I also have to lock in right now, because if I don't even know how to make a sound in the software that I'm using, well, that first day is going to be rough, and that first song even rougher. But if I figure all that out now, well then I think this will be so much fun. So much fun. I also thought about playing around with doing different genres just to get a feel for how different music is created. So maybe every month picking a new genre, or maybe doing one for however many weeks, I don't know. Just enough time to learn a style of music so that by the end of the year, I have a large variety of experience and skills, and I can tell you exactly what my favorite music is to create. Now, I may love to listen to classical music or orchestral music, but maybe I love to make some EDM, hardstyle, dubstep or something. I don't know. I'll get to figure that out. I'll get to see what's my taste, my style, what's my flavor of creation. Because if I'm going to create, I'm going to make sure that I'm creating what feels right for me. Do what feels right for you. Trust that everything will work out the way it's supposed to. And one day you're going to have one of these moments, one of these days where you just sit back at the very end and go, that was absolutely legendary. Let's get it. So until then, just remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.